Have you ever felt like there was a moment in your life where you'd completely lost yourself? The person you've known your entire life that you've grown up with just seems to have disappeared. Maybe that's why you're here now. And I know from personal experience, it's not a pleasant place to be. That feeling of powerlessness. And with great reasoning, it's not a place that anyone should have to spend their time. Hey everyone, my name is Paul Wadsworth, the founder of IntraLifestyle.com, and I'm here to help you live with greater health, happiness, and freedom. Today I want to talk to you about how to get your personal power back. But before we do that, let's understand what personal power is and what it isn't. It simply refers to being in the driver's seat of your own life experience and taking full responsibility for your life. Personal power is about having the freedom to live a life on your own terms and to have the confidence to do so. Consider your personal power level to be identified based upon how you feel physically, emotionally, and mentally. Now, generally, the three aspects we've mentioned are all interlinked together. So when you start changing one, it's going to influence the other. But to change it and to feel good about ourselves consistently, it will take some work and it will take some self-discipline. But let me tell you the truth. The biggest factor that will change all of it for you, as I've said previously, is your mindset. Your conscious thoughts, the mental side of it, create your feelings, your emotions, and your emotions dictate the actions you take, and the actions are going to lead to the results in your life. That's why anytime you want to change something in your life, the results that you're getting, it always starts with examining your thoughts. And thoughts are linked to beliefs, because a belief is just a thought that you have kept thinking consistently over a period of time. Therefore, to change our beliefs, we have to change our thinking and to start changing those patterns so that our results in our life begin to change. And when we repeatedly have these thoughts and they gain momentum, they gain repetition, and we attach emotion to them, they can be quite powerful. But unfortunately, many people choose to focus on the negative and unwanted thoughts more than the positivity and the optimism and the possibility of the things that they want in life. Much of it comes from conditioning from a young age, from your life experience, from the thousands of times you were subconsciously told that you weren't good enough. Did you fail in school? Did you get dumped by a partner? Did you not get that job that you really wanted? Did your income drop? You're unable to get a promotion at work, or whatever it is. There's always something that influences our thought patterns, our beliefs, and how we feel about ourselves. And then on top of that, you've got influences from people around you. Are you letting the outside world, the negative talk, get into your subconscious mind? All of these opinions of other people, all of that negative self-talk and the experiences that reaffirm the beliefs and the thoughts you're thinking over time, bit by bit, will start to diminish your personal power, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your confidence. Everything is going to get shot and put back into a place where you don't want it to be. So it always starts in here. In a previous video, which I'll post a link to up here, I discussed how to increase your self-confidence, which is going to help you massively change in your life. So in order to change then, we need to break the pattern. We need to stop doing what we've been doing that's got us how we're feeling about ourselves, because we want to gain back that power. So the first step is to look at some of the biggest culprits that are holding us back and making us feel the way we feel. So some of the common ones are toxic relationships, negative self-talk, negative conversations with people, spending too much time in the past, the victim mentality, blaming others, caring too much about what others think of you, lack of self-care, a lack of purpose and direction, unhealthy habits, poor communication skills, people-pleasing, not standing up for yourself, not knowing your core values, and having no boundaries. So what are some of the most common things that you do to prevent you from having the personal power that you're seeking? What of these things and what other things? Spend some time and ask yourself that question. Get curious and identify what is holding you back. So once we've done some self-reflection and identified the things that are holding us back, we can then begin to make some shifts and start changing things so that they work in our favor. And the first step is to just reverse engineer and get rid of the stuff that is holding us back. So if you have toxic relationships, Get curious with that and identify the relationship you have with yourself and start to focus on that one. If you're someone who spends too much time having negative conversations with negative people, change your inner circle, change your network. Change the conversations and the people you spend time with so that you're around like-minded people that are going to support you and help you grow. So if you're someone that lives in the victim mentality, then that needs to change. Otherwise, your life is never going to change. Self-awareness and self-acceptance, taking responsibility for your own life is going to set you free and set you up for how you want to live. Caring too much about what others think of you. How about caring about what you think? Understanding yourself more, learn a little bit more about yourself, being authentic and being true to yourself without worrying about other people's opinions. Negative self-talk. Maybe you're living too much in past experiences and things that have happened, and the beliefs you have, start to change them. Start to affirm yourself the person you want to be and create that vision for the life you want to live. The inner dialogue you have is one of the most important things, and it's very, very important that you start to watch the words you use, the language on a daily basis, the inner voices and the thoughts that you have. Start to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. And if you're someone who spends too much time blaming others and looking outside, get curious about it. Maybe someone did something to upset you. But rather than always point the finger, just get curious and try and see it from someone else's perspective. Understand what that means for you. Did something trigger you? Identify what that is and why it might happen. When you start to do this and you learn more about yourself and you stop blaming others and pushing things out there, it's going to set you free emotionally and you're going to feel a lot better. Lack of self-care. Now, if there's one thing that can really make a huge difference in how you feel about yourself, it's by acting like you care about yourself. Eat healthy, exercise, look after yourself. Do what a confident and happy person would do to take care of their body. If you have too many unhealthy habits, start replacing them with healthier habits. Maybe it's something as simple as going to bed a little bit earlier, cutting out a certain thing in your diet, drinking more water, going for a walk each day. Just do little things that are going to start to make that change and tell your subconscious that you are moving towards that person you want to be and that you are controlling your life. You are controlling your future. If you have a lack of purpose and sense of direction in your life, I highly recommend checking out my free Mindset Mastery Toolkit, which I'll put a link below this video, where it's got a bunch of exercises you can go over that's designed to help you change your limiting beliefs, understand your core values, and get more clarity and direction in your life. And are you someone that spends too much time people pleasing? This is one of the biggest things that is going to hold you back emotionally, mentally, and physically. We spend a lot of time in our heads worrying about what someone is thinking and if we might upset someone, and we don't want to say no to a certain thing because we're worried that it might affect the way they feel. And we go down this trail of thought and we just want to people please all the time. You've got to learn to say no and stand up for yourself. And that actually brings us on to the next one, which is learn to stand up for yourself. You've got to be true to yourself, true to your core. Think about the highest version of yourself and the best version of the person you want to become, how you feel emotionally, the confidence you have, the happiness you have. What would you accept? What wouldn't you accept? Have a standard and don't be pushed around. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Just be true to yourself. Not knowing your core values. This is an exercise that you can do, and I will share a link below where you can get this as well to go over the exercise. And once you identify your personal core values in life and you start living in alignment with them, naturally you are going to feel a lot better. When I ask people, when I'm outside in the world, living my day, sometimes I'll ask them, do you know your core values? And oftentimes they will actually say to me, oh, I've never really thought about that. It's probably worth doing so. So you can do that in the exercise below in the link that I'm sharing, and I highly recommend knowing what they are so that you can live in alignment with what is really important to you. And if you have no boundaries, set clear boundaries about what is and what isn't okay for you. You decide how you want to live, you decide how you want to show up in the world and the lifestyle that you want, and you need that emotional freedom and that feeling where you're in your safe place. And if people cross that line and people do things that just trigger you and you feel a boundary being crossed, you need to set that and you need to express that. And this leads us nicely onto the last one, which is poor communication skills. This is one of the biggest problems when it comes to romantic relationships and the failure of them. People are so bad at communicating. We build up stories in our head. We have thoughts about certain things, about people's actions. They did this because of this. And oftentimes that is based on a previous past event from our life, a previous experience, and we don't communicate how we feel. And it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, but being able to effectively communicate from a place of understanding, from a place of vulnerability, and not in an attacking manner, just expressing how you feel and communicate your needs, communicate what's going on for you. If there's something that bothers you, just express that. Once you can learn how to do that, it's going to have a massive impact on how you feel. It's going to free up a lot of weight off your shoulders, and you're going to feel more in control and more in power of your life. So now you have some ways to regain that personal power so that you can start living your best life. And it's of vital importance that you put the work in and you do the things that are going to help you, because no one else is going to do it for you. So if you want to live a life that is full of happiness, health, and freedom, a life true to yourself where you feel in control and you have your personal power, you feel confidence, you feel good about yourself, then it requires some of this work, and it requires some self-awareness and understanding of where you're currently at. And it requires making the small changes consistently that are going to help you get to where you want to be. And I encourage you to spend some time to think big about the life you want to create. Really dream and visualize. Where do you want to live? What type of house do you want? What car do you want? What are you doing for a career? What relationships do you have? Really get clear and think and dream and have no limits on it. You want something that feels exciting to you so that you can start working towards that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the subscribe button and I'll speak to you soon.